Mechanic 757, we're doing a pre-purchase condensed inspection for the customer, so we can kind of show you and give you a general condensed idea what a pre-purchase inspection consists of. The first thing we want to do, we want to make sure the engine is nice and cold. There's a reason for that. One of the telltale signs, this oil should be nice and clean and full. If it is dirty or missing, that is a telltale sign that this is not being taken care of. So I'm going to pull it out. There's no oil on there. So now we're going to put it back in and we're going to see what the oil actually physically looks like. This oil is transparent, so this means the person has been taking care of the vehicle. Second thing we want to do, we're going to find out if it has a radiator cap, which it doesn't. We're going to look at the coolant reservoir. You can make it bigger or whatever you want to do. All right, so what we're going to do, we're going to take this reservoir cap off because it doesn't have a radiator cap. We're going to take this off. This should be nice and clear. It shouldn't have any kind of debris or any kind of anything except liquid. So we're pulling it off. We're going to pull the cap. As you can see, it's a regular cap. And if you look down there, you can see nothing but fluid. So I'm going to put the cap back on. You'll also look generally what the engine looks like. If you see any oil around the vehicle, that tells about any kind of oil leaks. I do not see anything visually. Next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to walk around the car and I'm going to walk around the car and you're going to see some of the stuff I'm doing. This is a condensed version. This is not a long drawn out video, but it's just a condensed version.
And why are you walking around the car?
Because I'm going to walk around the outside perimeter to make sure that from the tires, the brakes, all the way around, what looks good and doesn't look good. That has nothing to do with the computerized thing. Right now we're just doing the engine and walking around, then we're going to do the computerized part.
Okay.
So I'm going to shake this and it should go back straight real quick. It tells you about the shocks. Then I'm going to come over here. Let me hand you the key because sometimes these cars lock.
Okay.
So you don't want that to happen. I'm going to look over here. I'm going to see the rotors. The rotors on this car needs to be replaced. If you can zoom in right there, this looks like Saturn. That means that this is not a smooth surface and you can actually visually see it. Whatever's happening there is happening to the brakes. So this car, the brakes are really low too. Whatever's happening on the rotors is happening on the brakes. But that's minor, just changing the brake pads and rotors is minor. You have all the lug nuts. This tire right here, let me see the key. We're going to turn the tire and see if the treads. We're going to see if this is a good tire or it needs to be changed. So we just turned the tire and you will be changing this tire in the next couple months. These are low treads. You're also looking to see if there's any dry rot right here. There's nothing dry rotting. So this tire is not bad, it's just normally wore out. And this is an even tread, so there's no alignment issue. So now I'm gonna come over here. I'm gonna take this magnet. It should stick everywhere. If it doesn't stick, that means there's been an accident and they put Bondo, unless they replace the whole entire part. I put the rag to make sure I don't scratch anybody's vehicle. And as you can see, the magnet is sticking everywhere. So this car is showing no signs. Another thing you look for, this should be evenly all the way around. It should not be uneven. We're gonna go look on the hood too. You close the hood, you look right here, that's even, and over there is even. We're gonna get to that side. Also, you look at the inspection sticker. Inspection sticker is old. There's a reason why it has not been inspected. So we're gonna keep walking around. There is a small dent I just seen. I'm gonna point it out in a minute. It's sticking everywhere. See?
Yes.
All right, there's only a little ding right there. Nobody cares about that. Superficial stuff. versus major stuff. Okay, so the tires are evenly worn out, so you're going to replace some tires. This rotor actually is good. You just need to change the brakes. That is nothing important that will tell me not to tell you to buy the car. This will never stick because these are made of plastic. That's never going to happen. But up here, it should be nice and sticking like it's doing. The bumper is really nice. I'm going to look under the car in a few minutes before we even start the car and do the computerized inspection. We're going to come over to this rotor. I take my finger, it should be nice and smooth. That is nice and smooth. They're just saying I need to be replaced. This is a tire that's not like the other tires. This tire is actually good. But the other brand of tires are not Firestone. So this is a tire that's been replaced. And you can also tell, if you can zoom in right here, look at the treads, but you'll see these little things right here.
Oh, yeah.
See them?
Yes.
That means this tire is not even very much old, and the treads are much thicker. So you got superficial scratches right here. No one cares about none of that stuff. All I care about is if this has been in an accident, and then this stuff right here is superficial. This actually is a good car. It has a sunroof, so this is a higher brand than other ones. I mean, higher version of this particular model, Volkswagen. Everything is good. Also, you can also tell this is a better version because it has these lights up under here. A sunroof, and this right here is a high indication that this is the higher model of this particular vehicle. This is just paint that is coming off. That is nothing major. It's all superficial, and it's bare metal. So that's just the clear coat coming off. And then you look right here. I'm going to look under the car with the camera myself, and I'm going to see if there's any leaks or anything before we start the car. So I'm ready to go up under the car real quick. We're going to look for any kind of rust. I do not see any rust or anything that's of any concern. That's all plastic, so that's a cracked plastic. I don't see anything on the ground. And we're going to look up under the engine right now. And this is before we start the car, which is extremely important. I do things in a certain order. And again, this is a condensed version of a pre-purchase used car inspection. And I do not see a single drop of anything at this moment. That doesn't mean that this car is good, but I'm also looking on the ground. It's completely dry. The condenser looks like it can do some work on it. That's pretty worn out, but we're going to check the air condition. So now what we're going to do, we're going to use the computerized part of this pre-inspection. I use an Intel 906 Pro. That's what I use. What I'm looking for is the codes. Mine is Bluetooth. I'm looking for codes, but I'm also going to be looking at the PIDs, which is the sensors in real time. I'm also going to be looking at the fuel trim. Should be minus or plus 10 minus. Add them to the short term and long term together. It tells about the engine. You can't hide that. So we're not just looking for codes, we're looking for the sensors.
Okay.
So what we're going to do first, we're going to pull up the codes before the car starts. So I'm going to plug in my USB. Also, I always go in the car when I first go in to see there is a smell. Must has been a water leak. So we're going to put the diagnostic Bluetooth. Mine is Bluetooth. Mine is bidirectional, which means I can turn things on and off. So my diagnostic machine is a little bit more expensive, which will be in the description, than the normal diagnostic machine. So I'm ready. I'm going to go through the whole entire vehicle. My diagnostic machine, which should automatically pick up what kind of vehicle this is. So I'm going to click on it now. It's looking for whatever it is. An auto detection. It detected what it is. If you want to come over a little closer so you can see what I'm doing, it automatically saw what it was. I'm gonna hit OK. This is a Volkswagen. I'm going to literally do a whole inspection of all the systems that's in this vehicle. You can see it sees the VIN. I'm gonna hit OK. Let's see what it's asking me. This is a Jetta. It's asking me what it is. It's asking me the engine, so let me go back and look what the engine is. Just keep focused on that. This is a 2.5. If you come over here, a lot of people don't know the size of their engine. They usually will say it right here, and then sometimes it'll have a card somewhere, but this one usually tells you here, or here what size engine, but a lot of times it's sitting right here. There's a 2.5. So we come back over here to my scanner, and I'm going to look up 2.5. Let me go backwards. Okay, let me read again. All right, we want a Jetta 2000. We don't want Rabbit. There we go. Okay, so now we have a 2.5. We're going to hit 2.5. We're going to press OK. It's going to go through the whole entire car, and then it's going to ask me what I want to do. I don't want nothing specific. I want to do an auto scan because I'm going to do everything at one time, and I'm going to print it out to the customer. So this particular car has 19 systems in it. I'm going to hit full scan, and now it's going to go through it. Notice I have not one time turned the car on yet. So we already have something read of 4 things of the engine itself. The electronic central electric system, the instrument cluster, the gateway has faults, but I got to make sure that this is not old stuff versus current stuff. And some of the stuff that's not superficial, I don't care in any shape from way about it. If you have an older vehicle, this is a 2005, you're gonna have issues. Okay, so this is telling you that you can actually take the video and you can see it. Some of it's sporadic, like the throttle. It's saying it's sporadic, so we're gonna find out if that is actually true or not.
I think it's not showing.
Okay, so I'm gonna get out of, hopefully you can see that because I got a glare. A lot of it is throttle and it's sporadic. You can see on the right hand side, right here, right where my thumb is at, is telling you if it's passive or sporadic. So they're having some throttle, sporadic stuff going on. So now what I'm gonna do, I'm finally gonna turn the car on.
I don't see an app for that. You'll need to download one.
And there's something I forgot. I'm going to test the battery out. That's extremely important. So if you come over here, we're going to test the battery out, which is going to be a cover. It's going to be put.
Yeah, something going on with the phone.
Sorry about that.
Okay.
All right. So we're going to test this battery out. On the battery, it tells you what kind of battery it is. This one's a gold. It has 730 cranking amps. I cannot see the sticker how old this is, but we're going to test the battery out itself. I do all this stuff before I turn the car on for a particular reason. So we're going to go to the negative. The negative. Everything that I'm using will be in the description. Right now it has 12.21 volts. We're going to hit enter. We're going to put in the vehicle because it's in the vehicle itself. We're going to hit enter. We're going to test the battery first. We're going to hit OK. It is a regular battery. This is not a different kind of battery. It's just a regular battery with cells. We're going to put 730 cold cranking amps. We're going to go to 730. We're going to see how good the battery is, because that's the last thing you want, is to buy something that has, you got to buy a $200 something battery. This is a good recharge. Just need to recharge a little bit, which is really good. So the small things, we try to look out for the customer. So we're going to put this back in, and now we're going to start the car. And if you want to sit over there, we're going to turn the air conditioner on. All right, this car has 118,000 miles on it. So we're gonna test stuff while we're sitting in here. We're gonna look for the air condition. Does it work? Yes, or it doesn't. While we're doing our job, we want it to go to us, and this is a good way also seeing if it blows in the direction you tell it to blow in. And it's not doing it. Defrost. That should be right in front of us now. How much air is actually coming out of it? Is air coming out of your vent?
Very little.
Very little. It's stuck. It's blowing up here. Instead of what we're telling it to blow right here. Let's go. That's defrost by itself. That's blowing on the bottom. This is blowing on the bottom too. We want it to come right here, so there is an air conditioning issue, or a recycling door issue. So that is something that has to be fixed one way or another. All right, so this person has a whole bunch of lights on right now. He has an airbag light on and everything else we just started. So there is some maintenance needs to be done in this vehicle. And the brake light is on. The emergency brake is on, so we're gonna see if we can get that off. That just turned off, but he has the airbag light on, which is this light right here. And he has some maintenance in the rest of the seat belt and the hood. So now what we're gonna do, we're going to go into the engine itself. And what we're looking for is the short term and long term, which tells a lot about this vehicle. We're going to go to live data. By the channel. This can't be. We're going to buy the value. And we can see the engine speed. But we don't care about any of that stuff right now. All I care about right now, starting off, is the air mass flow sensor data. I'm looking for the voltage supply, which tells me if the alternator is working. But I'm going to keep on going until I see short term and long term. And then the rest I will get into. As I'm also looking, I'm looking for any misfires or anything that's telling me in the engine that is bad. Anything red automatically is a red flag. I haven't seen anything yet, but doesn't mean it doesn't exist. So right now, I'm still looking for the fuel system. There's a lot of sensors on this car, so I'm going to keep on going. I can even see the Cadillac converter temperature, which right now is 270 degrees. I can see the oxygen sensors, but we're still looking for the fuel. We're going to keep going until we hit fuel. And some vehicles have a lot of sensors. The air compressor is on. I can see everything. The air conditioning system is on high because I turn it on high. The voltage is 13 volts, 13.44. You can turn this to yourself if you want. It's only no air is coming out. All right, I'm still looking for the throttle because that was one of the things, but I'm looking for the fuel. I haven't seen the fuel yet. It got a lot of sensors. So if you're getting air that's in the wrong direction, that's going to be an actuator that needs to be replaced. One of the air conditioning actuators. And I'm still looking for the fuel. I have a lot of sensors. I see the timing. It's not jumping around. The coolant temperature is 145. I'm not even paying attention what's on the gauge. I pay attention with the computer. I'm still looking for the fuel. We're going to get there. I just got to keep going until I get to it. And as you can see, all these sensors are in this vehicle. So there's a lot of data I have to look at. I can even see the air conditioning PSI, which is 188. I can see if it's asking for air condition. Oxygen sensors, mass airflow sensor, throttle. I'm going to keep on going until we... Okay, so it's not showing the fuel, so I'm going to go back and see if I can see another system. Escape this. They might have the system by itself. Air condition, radio, gateway. We're looking for the fuel. Position, navigation, sound. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the engine and make sure I didn't miss it. Coding redemption. We're going to go back to live data, make sure I didn't miss it. I did not see it. I do not feel the engine shaking around, but it's not showing me the fuel trim. The fuel trim is supposed to be minus or plus 10 with the long-term and short-term fuel trim mixed together into a number. And I don't see it anywhere. I'm going to look again. And this is a condensed version of a pre-purchase inspection. It takes an hour and a half for me to do it, so I'm doing a condensed version of this. I do not see the fuel system whatsoever. Cadillac converter, engine speed, air condition, voltage. Speed, throttle. We're in the car right now, and the blower is blowing on the dash versus barely anything on us. So it is extremely hot outside today, and so that's going to be one issue that the customer can actually ask to lower the price, because that's going to be a actuator that opens and closes one area and goes to another inside the dash. There's about 4 or 5 of them. So that is one of the things that we use to tell the customer to literally negotiate the price 100%. All right, I do not see the fuel whatsoever. We're going to get back to that another time. We're going to go back. Go back. We're going to go into the airbag system, and we're going to pull it up and see what the codes are, because the air light is on, and you will not pass inspection in the state of Virginia with that light on. So we're going to see the trouble code. It is a side bear igniter on the passenger side. So upper limit exceeded. So that's going to be a repair that has to be done, and that's going to cost money, which is a negotiation. So I'm going to get out of that. and I'm seeing a light for the throttle, and I saw one for the electric central system. So we're going to find out what that is before we even do a test drive. We're going to look for the code for the electric central system. Those are just the lighting, interior lighting, which is not a big deal. It's not going to make or break this car. So now we're going to turn the heat on and see if that works. And that does work. We're going to turn it back to cold. And now if you can follow me, we're going to start doing the lights. The engine is not shaking very much, which tells me a lot about this engine right here, which is very good. I'm going to start turning on the blinkers. I have the left side on. Is the left side on?
Yeah.
All right, look at the back. Now we're going to try the right side. Right side working?
Yeah.
We're going to do the horn. Emergency light. Are they flashing?
Yeah.
All right, so what I'm going to do now, the car's running, we're going to look under the vehicle to see if any leaks. And remember, this is a condensed version. The only thing leaking would be the air condition. I do not see any leaks. I do not see any leaks at all. We're also going to look inside the trunk to see if there's a spare tire and if there's a sign this has been in a flood. So we're going to take the trunk, see if it opens. This looks very clean, but we're going to see if there's any rust or musty smell in here. We're going to pull this up, and there is absolutely no rust in here, which tells me 100% that there has been no flooding in this car, and you have a spare tire and it's in good condition. It's not all beat up and looking crazy. So it appears that this person's been taking care of the car. I'm gonna do part 2 of the road test. If you like this video, please like, subscribe, and share. And if you want us to test anything, in the description will be our address of anything you want us to review. Thank you.